Yeah, so introducing the topic for today. We're super excited to welcome some friends from TechSoup, but we're going to be talking about expanding your organization's capacity through TechSoup. And so they're going to talk about their services and how they help nonprofits like yourselves. Um, they're a great partner of ours, and so I am super excited. For those of you that don't know me or have never joined a Civic Champs webinar in the past, my name is Gung Wang, and I am the CEO co-founder here at Civic Champs. This is some of the logos that I've been associated with in my past. I think the more interesting ones are here at the bottom. Those are my prior two startups. Yeah, we started Civic Champs here in 2019 and have really enjoyed being in the nonprofit space. You all are much kinder, nicer than the other industries like real estate or automotive that I've been in. So I do appreciate that. All right. Without further ado, our two speakers and guests for today are Gerard and Susan. Gerard is the Senior Director of Customer Success at TechSoup, and Susan is the Director of the Global Community of TechSoup. And so I'll let them say hi here in a sec, but I know a lot of times people often have questions, whether the slides are, sent later or if we're recording, so we do both. No need to take super diligent notes. The presentation will be 30 to 40 minutes, followed by Q&A. And then if you leave questions in chat, feel free to do so. We're going to keep track of all of those. So if we don't cover that in the moment, we'll circle back at the end. And then, yeah, be sure to stay till the very end. We do have some cool freebies that we'll share with you all here at the end as well. So, all right, without further ado, yeah, Gerard and Susan.
Great. All right, hello all. I'm going to share my screen. Let me just get this queued up, and I'm going to, I think when it pulls up, it swaps. So let me just swap this out. So now you should see my full screen. All right. Thanks, Gung and Ariana, for inviting us. We absolutely appreciate this opportunity, and we appreciate the partnership that we've had so far with Civic Champs. I will say quickly, as we're talking about the weather, I am in the Atlanta area and it's been unusually cold. We got snow twice in the week. I left for a week, went to New York City, which was bone-chilling cold, came back yesterday to a ghost town. So it has been a lot of fun in the cold these days. But absolutely looking forward to this talk today. So jumping right in here. So as Gung mentioned, I'm the Senior Director of Customer Success at TechSoup. And so I lead a team that is responsible for working with nonprofits of all different types and sizes, which you'll hear me talk more about here shortly, as it relates to the experience that you have with TechSoup and acquiring technology that we make available, as well as the services ecosystem that we have as well. And Susan is on my team, and her team leads global communities. So that's all of the events that TechSoup manages, as well as running our quad community, which we'll talk more about as well. And Susan's team actually runs everything that happens social media-wise with TechSoup. So if you follow us anywhere on the web, Susan's team is responsible for all of that great content that you see there. Susan, did you want to add anything to your intro?
Well, yeah, just that I just discovered today I'm employee number 5 at TechSoup. I have a hoarse voice today. I have laryngitis, but I was hired for the original launch, and I'm one of the last people left. So that's kind of interesting. I was hired in the year 2000, so this has been pretty much the only job I've ever had. I've always worked in online community my whole career, and I always like to describe the work I do as I lead the work that connects our users to each other. That's kind of my focus, is just connecting our users to each other and creating paths and structures for that. So I'll hand it back to Gerard until I have my slides.
Appreciate that, Susan. All right, so let's jump in here. And I know some of you, I know all of you are nonprofits, and you may have a different levels of familiarity with TechSoup, but let's jump in here. So, like many of you, we are also a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And as of today, we have over 400,000 qualified nonprofit members in the United States. What that means is These are folks that have come to TechSoup. They provided their documentation to us and says, hey, we're a nonprofit. We've vetted that out, and we have a pretty stringent process by which we do that. And that number continues to grow. And then globally, outside of the US, we have another over 200,000 folks that are qualified to work with TechSoup. All right. And we support nonprofits working with technology to help build a more equitable planet. So, we've worked to build relationships with a variety of organizations, many of which you are familiar with, Civic Champs being one of them, as well as even the platform that we're using here today. Zoom is also one of our corporate partners. And as mentioned, we also have Microsoft, Dell, Intuit QuickBooks, Adobe, and so many more, which we'll talk about. And then we also have an ecosystem of services partners that specifically work with nonprofits to help manage your technology stack. In addition to that, we have a ton of educational resources, everything from our YouTube channel to our private quad community, as well as other avenues to add value to the experience that you have as you adopt technology. And we also deliver grant-based programming to help civil society use technology. So we have some interesting programs like the Digital Resilience Program and some other initiatives that we've done over the years to make an impact. And briefly, so TechSoup has actually been around for 38 years. It started out as CompuMentor, connecting tech volunteers with nonprofits that could use their help. When they as Susan mentioned, they transformed from CompuMentor into TechSoup around 2000, and it's been TechSoup since, and that's where you get this concept of the marketplace that we have today. Served over 1.4 million nonprofits around the world, and we've distributed over $19 billion of in-kind technology around the world as well. Want to, again, expand your perspective in terms of the different products that we have available. So you heard me mention Microsoft, but you see Zoom, AWS, DocuSign. We also have some hardware products like Cisco and Lenovo in our catalog as well. And all these things are available to you today as a TechSoup member. We work with some of the smallest nonprofits around the world. Most of the organizations that we work with have less than $50,000 in their budget. And so obviously cost is a very key factor in decision-making, especially when it comes to technology. But we also work with larger organizations as well, some of which include Boys and Girls Club of America and some large faith-based organizations. But our bread and butter of organizations is definitely the small organization where you have, some of you might be here as an executive director, but you also wear the IT hat, or you're also doing fundraising, and you're also managing technology, or you're also managing volunteer management / whatever roles you may play. When you think about the type of organizations that we work with, it's a very diverse group of change makers. And this illustration really just demonstrates that we work with organizations of all different types and segments, everything from diversity to community foundations to you name it, we've worked with these organizations. So no matter what type of work you're doing, TechSoup can absolutely support you through the technology that we have available. Now, getting into membership. So being a TechSoup member traditionally has been, you join, you provide us with your letter of declaration or official documentation, and then you become a TechSoup member. And today that is still true, but we've expanded on that. And so we have 3 levels of membership that you can take advantage of. One is our DIY or do-it-yourself model, where you come, you join as I described, and then you go and you find what you want as you're eligible for those particular products, and you go about your day, so to speak, right? The Boost membership is the next tier where you get access to all of those same things, but we have a core set of products where you get an additional discount off of the admin fees, which we administer to to stay sustainable. And then the quad level membership is like our highest tier of membership, where you get all the boost benefits and the DIY benefits, of course. And you also get access to this private community platform, access to a community of peers that have also signed up for quad, as well as access to our TechSoup 100 and 200 level courses at no additional charge. Within quad, you also get access to exclusive content and events that we make available on a very regular basis. When you look at, what might work for you, as you can see at the bottom, we see, hey, if you know exactly what you need, you sign up DIY. Maybe you consider boosting quad at a later date, but you come, you get what you need, and then you come back as needed. With the boost level membership, you get those additional discounts, and we've got a rotating set of special offers that we'll put in the only in the boost catalog. And then we are also working on an engine to provide you with very personalized recommendations to help you make decisions on the technology that's right for you. And as I mentioned, with the quad level, you get the 100 and 200 level courses at 50% off of retail. So these are our membership options. As you can see, the Boost membership is $99 per org per year. And then the quad membership is $200 per org per year. What's interesting about the quad membership is that with the community itself, you get access to that community for yourself if you're in our primary contact, and up to 9 additional folks. So up to 10 folks can get access to all of the benefit that we have within the quad community itself. And if you have any questions, we'll have time later to address any questions that you all may have. If there's some things going on in the chat, I'm sure Susan is also watching the chat. So that's TechSoup membership options today. We're working really hard to streamline these things and evolve them in a way that makes more sense. So for example, we're looking at naming conventions and the ultimate value prop, and where support kicks in, and pricing. We're constantly looking at all these things. And I think what I didn't mention earlier is that I'm responsible for these programs. It used to be where my team was just responsible for the back end engagement with members and how we support members' experience. But now programmatically, I lead these programs. So I'm open to any feedback that you all may have or questions you all may have about these programs. All right. The quad community specifically, you heard me talk about the content. These are just snapshots. So you see here, we have how-tos and dozens, if not hundreds, of different very curated, customized content that you would have access to. An example is this video snapshot that you see here to the right that has been created exclusively for quad. And this is very well edited and polished. So Michael Roberson actually does all of our video content here at TechSoup, and I think he does a great job. And then another key thing that I didn't mention on the previous slide, which we'll talk about throughout this presentation, which is you can also access a consultation with one of our volunteers. So we're kind of doing a Complementor 2.0, 3.0 at this point, where we're connecting folks who have expertise in a variety of different domains to folks like yourself that maybe you're not ready to, pay a 1-hour consulting fee with an IT provider or within a specific domain, but you want to talk to someone who's been there, who's done that, who knows what they're talking about. We are wanting to create the bridge to close that gap, and that's why you see that request a consultation snapshot there. And on the far right, you see just a list of events that we have. We work to try to do 2 events a week, and all these events, as you can see, are a variety of different types of experiences. One of the things that we spend a lot of time on is this quad orientation to make sure that you can get the most out of it, but we're also incorporating other topics as well. And then TechSoup course highlights. So you heard me talk about those 100 and 200 level courses that are available. These are some examples. So you can see project management, Microsoft Excel, grant writing, Google Ad Grant, tech planning, cybersecurity. So these are courses that have been developed and are made available. And we'll make sure you have access to these links so that or the main link so you can see what courses are available. And then if you decide to become a boost or a quad member, obviously there are benefits there as well if you think that these courses can benefit you and your team. All right. So now Microsoft offers. So Microsoft has been one of our longest standing partners, and we do quite a high volume of Microsoft licensing for nonprofits. One of our most popular ones that you see here is going to be the Office 365 Enterprise. And for $1 a month, you get the licensing from us, as well as support for administration of your licenses through TechSoup. And then you see that we have on-premise as well as Windows Pro and other operating systems, and offer Office Standard with no software assurance. So, and we have even more SKUs for Microsoft. Just wanted to share some examples for you here, but Microsoft is a key partner for us. They make changes to their program, over time, and we work to keep up with those changes as well. QuickBooks is one of our most popular products that we have available. QuickBooks Online Plus is $80 per year. So for those of you who have any experience with working with QuickBooks Online, you'll know that for monthly, if I'm not mistaken, the monthly fee for QuickBooks Online Plus is around $80-something a month. So imagine, paying $80-something a month for 12 months versus $80 per year through TechSoup. So huge benefits there, as well as we have QuickBooks Online Advanced and QuickBooks Online FAQs to help learn more about the offer. And even in addition to that, we have a key services partner that does what we call QuickBooks Made Easy to help with configuration and setup of your QuickBooks Online. And so I think we have exclusive pricing for that service as well through our TechSoup catalog. Additional catalog offers. So you heard me talk about some of these before, but you see some others here as well, such as Bitdefender and Veritas. We do verification for Okta, which has so for those of you who don't know, Okta does SSO. And even if you're a small organization, identity management and security is still important for you guys. And I think their offer is 50 licenses. I think 50 licenses, I want to say, and I want to say it's no charge, but basically TechSoup does the validation, which means we don't have a specific offer in our catalog, but Okta uses our services to validate nonprofits. All right. GrantStation is another one of our most popular offerings, which again, and this is a big deal because GrantStation, in partnership with them, runs a twice a year promotion, February and September. So we're right on the cusp of the next GrantStation promotion. As you can see, GrantStation goes for $6.99. That's the retail rate for that particular product. We on any regular day, you could get it through TechSoup at $1.99, and the promo rate is actually $1.19. So that's a huge discount off. The folks that get GrantStation love it. And it provides step-by-step tutorials and access to understanding what grants may be available to your organization. And we understand how important fundraising is to all organizations. And so just wanted to put you on notice that this GrantStation promo is coming down the pipeline as well. All right. So Susan, you want to jump in on the volunteer management piece?
Sure. And I was taking a screenshot of Catherine Reagan saying QuickBooks is an amazing discount. We save thousands. So anyone else that has TechSoup stories, I'd love to profile you. I'll make you famous on TechSoup social media. So if anyone else has fun stories like that, feel free to just send me an email. I put my email in here, or just email community@TechSoup. That's my team. We'd love to profile anyone. From our end of the desk here, our end of the screen, we don't get to see these stories. We end up putting these things out there, but I love to hear from the community where we've actually helped people. And so that saving money is helping, because you guys can use your budget for the important program work you're there to do. So even though it might seem just like we're talking about saving money, it has a bigger meaning. And I always like to remind, my colleagues about that. It's like, we really want to be there for you, to help you do the work you do. So thanks for doing your important work, and feel free to ping me. So with that, just talking about some volunteer stuff. We have several volunteer programs on TechSoup. Civic Champs, of course, is one, and we're happy to be here. There's some other options. And as we mentioned earlier, our team has compiled a resource guide of all sorts of volunteer options for TechSoup members. So there's all sorts of nonprofit templates and tools and articles and webinar replays to help you with your volunteer efforts. So do stick around to the end, and we'll share that resource guide with you. And and it's hard for me to not look at what's going on in the chat just because the person okay. Ariana said the resource guide will be in the recap. Perfect. My role at TechSoup. So I oversee our social media, our regional meetups that became topical over the pandemic and are still topical and regional, our community-based events that connect users to each other, our forums, and our member-based community quad. So just running the community efforts on TechSoup is kind of what I'm doing, and and I'm open to ideas from you all on how to connect users with each other, how to connect users to experts, and how to connect with members to the organization. So I'm totally open to hearing your ideas. We have lots of different ways to do that. I do believe, and I have for many, many years, that events are the kind of connective tissue between community engagement. So what I mean by that is events, if you have a community, it's important to have regular, consistent events, because events give you a reason to remind your community that you're there, a reason to remind your members over a certain topic that they might be interested in attending, a reason to connect to experts outside of your community who might be a draw, and also a reason to expand the edges of your network. So let's say you're a community about food insecurity, and you might want to bring in an expert who runs pantries, food pantries. They might not necessarily be in your small community, but bringing in an expert gives you that reason to expand the edges of your community. So it's really important. We have a lot of information on events at TechSoup at events.techsoup.org. And specifically in our membership community quad that Gerard was referring to, we have special quad events that are members only events that are smaller by design, provide you access to experts, are a little bit more workshop-ish versus like just a talking head to an audience. So they're more interactive. And I really do recommend, it's definitely worth the cost of the $200. And in addition, if you have an expertise that you'd like to share with our community or your peers, please let me know, because we are very open. I'm always asking people to present on their topics of expertise. So I'm very open to having consultants or people who have skills that they want to share. Like for me, it would be social media, to contact me. And I would be happy to have you as a guest in one of our closed quad events. And I mentioned TechSoup Connect, and I apologize again for my voice. I'm definitely embarrassed by this laryngitis. TechSoup Connect are our regional meetups. We have dozens of chapters. They're volunteer-led, and we leave them totally up. They're pretty unmanaged, like in terms of we are not the ones dictating to the volunteer organizers. We do have kind of a ladder of engagement with our volunteer organizers. So it's not like just anyone off the street. They actually have to prove to us, that they are of the same mindset, using tech for good, and once they do kind of engage with the TechSoup community in a meaningful way and provide value, then we give them access to run their own TechSoup Connect regional meetup or online meetup as well. So if you're interested in that, that's available at connect.techsoup.org, or just Google TechSoup Connect. And again, if you have any questions or you're interested in joining one, there might be one in your region, or you're interested in leading a TechSoup Connect about a different location or topic, just write to me at community@TechSoup or s10b@techsoup.org. And so we also, coming back to basics, thanks, Ariana. Coming back to basics, as Gerard mentioned, we started in 1987 as a volunteer matching organization to match tech volunteers with nonprofits to help them get their tech installed. And we are coming right back to that same ethos where we have these engaged members that are helping us spread the word, not only about TechSoup, but about, for example, being alert about AI security, mitigating risk, those type of, so we're definitely like encouraging folks who are interested in joining our larger community and being a part of it and helping others with tech to, again, email me and we'll get you engaged in our volunteer program. And that's all I got. So we're going to open it up to questions.
Awesome. Well, thanks. Yeah, that was amazing in terms of all the awesome deals that you're able to get through TechSoup. Yeah, I'm always amazed by just, I was like, oh man, I wish we could take advantage of that, right? So thank you. And yeah, so if folks have questions, please put those in chat and we'll kind of circle around to those questions. In the meantime, let me kind of reshare my screen and we'll talk a little bit about a couple of details here. So while we're waiting, and so let me reshare here. Yeah, and so as we're waiting, for those of you that don't know about Civic Champs, well, I thought I'd just give a quick introduction about ourselves too, since we do have a TechSoup deal as well. So I think I put that in chat. So it's 50% off for a 1-year subscription, which is pretty substantial. And then if you did 3 years, you actually get a full year off, right? So, but Civic Champs, we're a volunteer management software platform for nonprofits. So we help you across a full life cycle of volunteers, from recruiting to onboarding to scheduling to engagement to retention to reporting. And just to give you kind of a 30-second highlight of some of the things that we do. So this is an example of our mobile app. You can see this is kind of an easy check-in. We use geofencing. It detects, at this time, if you're at a certain place, it can help your volunteers say, yep, I'm here. I can check in for my time. Just kind of a 2-tap process. You hit that blue button, check in, and then you select what you're here from, and then you're kind of good to go, right? And so that's, and we even auto check out people at the end if they forget, right? So it's a very, very seamless and easy process. And then at the end, if they had a great experience or if they didn't have a great experience, they can easily leave feedback. And so a lot of our ethos is how do we bring kind of consumer grade technology to the nonprofit space, right? So we're used to this, whether you're using like an Uber app or something like that. This is kind of an easy way for folks to understand their volunteers. And we found this to be super helpful from a retention standpoint. Right? And this is from our reporting. So we try to keep that real simple for you all as well. And so you can see all of your data in one place. At the top, you have some big stats in terms of your activities, but you also have easy access to those reflections as well. Right? So if you're interested, obviously reach out to us. But otherwise, let me come back here and see if we have any questions from the audience as well. So I don't see anything quite yet. I guess maybe one question I had. Oh, go ahead, Gerard.
Oh, I was just saying, I know we have time. I could also provide a demo of some of the things that I shared, like the Boost catalog and the Quad community and things like that. So that's also an option if people want to see that, like tangibly.
Yeah, I think that could be really interesting.
I think you should, Gerard,
yeah.
because it's so much more dynamic if you see it rather than that screenshot we took.
Yeah, let's do that. So I'll let you reshare your screen.
Okay.
And then maybe, and we'll give folks a deeper insight.
All right. And let me me just pull up something else here. I'm gonna pull up the Boost catalog as well, and I'm gonna pull up TechSoup courses so that you all can see that. All right, now let me share my screen. All right. All right.
Yep.
Okay. So this is the quad community, and we're constantly evolving, this space to make it more interactive and engaging, and for folks to want to be able to learn from peers and share things as well. And so on the left, you see, we have community guidelines and things just on kind of basic housekeeping and then getting started. So when you come in, what you need to do to be able to get off on the right foot as it relates to your quad experience. And then, we have like an announcement section here where, folks may come in to, share different things that are happening. Oftentimes, TechSoup folks will share things here, but we have a similar type of space, which is called Ask the Community. So let's just say you have a general question, you're not sure where to go, and you can share or ask things that maybe don't have a place to fit, and folks within the org can engage with you. And then we have even further, to get even more casual, we have a water cooler space as well. So folks will come in here and engage at a casual level. And then you get down to some of the different sections we have. So we have our learning hub where you could see upcoming events. So you kind of saw the upcoming events that we had. This lists the very next event. And then we have a link to our event recordings here. So previous events that we've had. And then you can also see articles, right? And it's categorized accordingly. So we have a food security section. We have, let's just say you wanted to see all the AI and emerging tech items. Boom. This is where you can see those things. And to give you an example, so these aren't something that we're just pushing out to push out. So I'm just going to randomly pick this first one here, and you'll see that it's going to be rich with links and context and insights and things that help you to understand what's happening in that specific space. So it's not just like a basic blog post that we've AI generated. That means someone actually put this together and spent time on this. And this is the kind of content that you will find in the quad community. We've also got, how-tos, how to do various things, right? So again, you just see that things are tagged in a different way there. And then we also have templates and video tutorials, right? So Giving Tuesday templates, generative AI use policy. So let's just say you want to develop an AI policy in your org. Boom, we make this available in our quad community for you to be able to use, right? And then, video tutorials, right? So how to. So again, all of this falls into some of the other ones, but this is how you can check out content that is in the video format. And then if I was to just, for example, create a logo in Adobe Express, and if I just quickly just said advanced sharing options, I just want to share, if I want to share my sound here, can I share my sound so that people can hear?
You may have
Okay, I
to
don't think
reshare.
I would have to reshare. That's okay,
Yeah.
but you guys get the idea here, right? And so I'm going to jump down into these different spaces that we have, which are like our community spaces, which are specific in what's happening in technology in a variety of different areas. So I'm just going to pick Google for nonprofits, for example, and you can see the discussions that are happening in the Google for nonprofit space and the communications that are happening there. Microsoft Cloud, same thing. We're constantly keeping it updated here, and folks will engage and learn different things that they may otherwise have not have known. So it's in a digestible format. So yes, this information exists, but we try to bring it down to bite-sized format. And then we have like cause-based, cause-based spaces. So for example, we have this youth space. So for folks that are working with, youth or youth adjacent organizations or youth, focused missions, we have a youth space, we have a climate space, we have faith-based space. And, we're not limited to these. So we can create more tech tool spaces, and we can create more cause-based programs based on your demands and your interests. And you see, we have digital marketing space as well. And so this starts to get into functional expertise where you can learn from other folks as it relates to these. These are relatively new, so there's not going to be much here. So online community, we just launched recently. I think that we've changed this a few days ago, or Susan, I know it's one that we just relaunched. I think we moved we moved these posts from other spaces to here, I think, to see the, but the online community itself is new, and social media, so you can learn more about social media. So I think you all get the idea here on kind of how to navigate. And of course, there's a space for you to, get help. And you can also, we have a directory here, so you can also engage and find other members and reach out to those members and learn a little bit more about who they are and what they represent. So this is just taking a second to load.
Just taking a second, I think, because you're on Zoom as well.
Oh, okay, probably so. But either way, you all get the idea, right? There's a few other things that we probably could have gotten into, but I wanted to just give you a high level overview of Quad, and then Boost. Oh, there it is. So boom. So then you start to see the different folks that are in our community. That's more loading up, and then you can see you can filter it down accordingly. And then the Boost catalog. So you heard me talk about the Boost catalog. The majority of the products are discounted products. So you can see the admin fee is what you would pay if you normally came to TechSoup as a DIY member. That's scratched out. The actual price that you see is what you would pay if you became a Boost member. So you can see what you would save on certain products. And you can see, even though it's not encompassing of the entire catalog, there are some interesting products included here. As you can see, Zoom, for example, is here. And then the last thing that I'll show is TechSoup courses. So looking at, I wanted to open this up. Yep, this is what I want to open up. So as you can see here, let's just say, for example, you wanted to learn more about cybersecurity. So you can see that this product costs, or this course is $50 if you were a nonprofit and you came to it, which is already discounted from what it would be in the private marketplace. And if you look at that as if you're a Boost member, you'd pay $25. If you're a Quad member, you'd pay nothing for that, right? And that would already be a 25% return on your investment from being a Quad member, for example. Some of these get a little bit more pricey. So for example, if you look at the grant writing is $250, which is, this alone is more than the annual fee for being a Quad member. So again, I just wanted to show you all some of the courses that were available, and you could see, what's included in all of these before you actually pull the trigger. So I'll stop sharing. I just want to take a few minutes to share some of that. Gung, if you want to reshare and.
Yeah, we'll kind of wrap things up here. Let me come back here. So I was the last slide I was on was just our contact information, and so Gerard and Susan were gracious enough to share their contact. So if you want to reach out to them directly, here's kind of their information. We'll also, of course, have this in the slides as well. So if you click on some of this, they'll take you directly there. And then we'll put in chat here just a feedback form. And so we're always looking for feedback from you all in terms of what sessions you all enjoy, what do you want to see coming up, And so we always appreciate any feedback that you have. So that way we can bring back your favorites and also get a sense of what might be most helpful going forward. And then finally, the resource guide. We'll put a link here in chat, so you have access to that. But it's gonna, we mentioned this earlier, right? But this is kind of a cool tool that TechSoup has put together to help you all figure out, which volunteer management software might be right for you. Obviously, the right choice is always Civic Champs, but I joke. So, and with that, I think, we'll kind of give back a little bit of time to you all today. As always, really appreciate you all coming on and joining us. And we have a number of great webinars coming up as well. And so I think next week, I believe, is about corporate volunteerism. And we have two guests, one a consultant, and then another from a larger corporation that has a lot of kind of volunteerism that they do. And so they're going to talk about, how do nonprofits best engage them straight from the sort of their perspective, so they can provide guidance, right? Or if you're writing grants to corporations and looking for support, what's the best way to go about doing that? What do they like? What are their pet peeves? Right, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think this one's going to be a little bit more conversational. And so super excited for that. And so actually, yeah, I think Becky, one of our presenters for next week, is already on today. So getting a sneak peek of our our format here. So well, thanks everyone. Stay warm. And yeah, Susan, anything to add?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Tracy, feel free to write me. I'm happy to, if you guys are already big fans. Anyone that is a member that wants to talk about how we've helped them, that's super interesting content for us to share. I would love to share it out with our sector so we can make a little video profile. Feel free to write me my email, and I'd love to profile you. Thank you for sharing that.
And then you'll be famous.
Then you'll be famous.
That's right. All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care.